So we're working on a garage in this video, and the background noise is just the horse playing in his trough. He likes to do that, so don't mind that. Basically, I'll take you outside in a minute and show you too, but we have a little bit of footage of this so far. We haven't filmed the whole process of building a garage here because it's been probably going on a couple-week project now. A little bit here and there. Partly that's the weather. We had a little heat wave in there basically when we were topping 100 degrees, and fortunately it's cooled back down to more seasonable summer temperatures now, like in the 80s. So it's warm, but it's more manageable for doing work on. And it's kind of been feeling it out step by step exactly what we want to do. So we put a little bit of a deck extension on the back, a very short one, less than a foot, I think. We took out this wall, reframed it, and now we got a little garage space. So we're going to be putting insulation in here today, and then a couple of shelves. That'll let me put away some tools and other outdoor things. We have some additional storage outside. We're calling it the bumper storage. We'll show you that in just a minute too. You can see what that's about. And we had a couple of holes we had to deal with. You can kind of see one here. This is where the ramp goes, or used to go, the loading ramp. And there was another one of those further over, and there was also a bigger hole where the lock on the rolling door would go, the latch. And so we had to fill in those holes, and a lot of times you see people do is put on sheet metal or use some heavier gauge sheet metal and weld a patch on. We decided to do something a little different and fun, and we just used some old license plates we had to cover up the holes. So they're screwed down. They're also adhered with adhesive caulk, so they're all sealed up and everything. That covers the holes, and it gives us a fun little floor, partial floor in our garage. So the one is from Montana. That was one of the plates that was on the truck when we bought it. This truck spent most of its life, maybe, I don't know if it was all of it or not, because it was a Hertz Penske rental truck, moving truck first, and then it was owned by two different over-the-road trucking companies, and both in Montana. So a lot of its life at least was in Montana. It's only 11 years old, and it was owned, the last company we got it from had it for 6 years, I think, and they bought it from another trucking company. So a lot of it's been Montana. This one here is off the Prius. This one's off the van. And the reason we have those is because Wyoming decided to upgrade their license plates to a snazzier, different design this year, and they're making everybody upgrade their license plates. You don't get to keep the old ones on your car, but they don't want them back. So we've got them, so we decided to put them in the floor. So it's kind of a little bit of history here in our floor, and it adds a little color and pop. And basically it's functional, they're free, and they're fun. So there's your alliteration for this video. Well, we're back. It's a few days later. We've been puttering away with this, and we basically have the garage area done. We basically have the truck done to a good enough point where we can put things on pause and use the truck, make sure everything works as we want it to, as we expect it to, before we worry about all the detail finish work. And there's plenty of that to be done. That's coming. So there's two specific projects I need to finish up before we totally pause things for a while. We'll show you what we get done here in the garage and outside with the garage and all that. Okay, so here's the garage as it stands. You're used to the shelf there. You've seen that a few times. We opened up this wall here and put in what I'm calling micro shelves. Now, we still have to put, we're using bungee cords to secure things on the shelves, so that still has to go in. That will be going in just as soon as I grab a couple pieces of trim to go on the edges here. We'll do that, but that gives us a whole bunch of extra storage for small items. And on the other side here, we have the same thing. So these are again micro shelves. You can see this is an example of the bungee cords we're going to be using. I've got some eyelets in here to hold that already. And, you know, there are fancier ways of doing stuff, but as we've said before, we're going with a North Country cabin, Northwoods cabin look and motif, and so that influences all of our design decisions. So again, lots of little stuff here. This section will be like for things that we use outside a lot. So I don't know, flashlights, a bug spray, whatever it is we might want to be using outside, have it handy. It'll be right here. I did put in a medicine cabinet. This is out of the trailer, so we ported that over as an RV medicine cabinet. Should be convenient. And there's another shelf here that I just have to put a strap on. Another shelf here that I should put a strap on. So we call them micro shelves. We did put some of the tongue and groove behind these. So we had taken out the insulation to do this, and then we just had a plywood wall. So we put in some 1-inch, the pink foam, and that's working. Should work quite nicely. It's just a little bit more effective than the styrofoam we used on a lot of the truck. It's twice the price. It's also a lot less mess. So we didn't need too much here, so we did it here. In the future, I will never buy that styrofoam stuff again. I will pay more for the blue or pink because it's a lot less messy, even though there's only a tiny difference in efficacy. And we have more shelves down here. This is going to be like tool storage. It's a disaster right now. One of today's projects is going to be to get the tools out of the van, get things in here. We actually have 3 shelves here. Down on the bottom where our license plates are, you can see we installed our diesel heater too. That hose is just temporary. We're going to be running duct work around, and that's one of the other projects I have to finish up. The duct work, we're going to raise up the bottom shelf here, and we'll run it around the back and under, and then it's going to come through the wall, through this interior wall here, and we're going to bring it out under the fridge there. So this thing I built under the fridge using some scraps I had needs to get redone. So that's one of the 2 projects I need to wrap up still. This is going to get raised up a few more inches, and we'll have the duct coming right out the end. So it gets the heat into the main part of the house. The one other thing I have to get done is out here. Right now we're using a step ladder to get in and out of the truck, which is not ideal and not much of a solution. So let me show you the outside though. If we get around the step ladder here, you can see our garage. We only came out less than a foot on this deck. I think it's about 11 inches or something. So we kind of put this little deck on here. This is where the truck ended before. This is the steel that was on the end. So we put a couple of 5/4 pressure treated deck boards on here, and we built a little frame under it. This is bolted to the metal, and we added a 2x4, this pressure treated. It's also bolted through. You can see the bolts there, bolted through into the steel bumper. And then this just serves as a frame. Nice and solid, nice and steady. Gives us a safer place to step out of the truck and into the truck so we can stand instead of like having a step go from a step into the door, which is a little bit awkward. So this gives us a safer place to stand on either side. We didn't want to go out too far. We didn't really want to change the angles of the truck. So we brought it out 11 inches, but if you look at the bumper here, we're only 3 inches beyond the original bumper. So we didn't really change much at all there. And underneath the bumper here, or underneath this deck, which goes all the way across, underneath here, we have the bumper. So we're going to use this, actually be using this for storage as well. It's to be determined still if we put waterproof boxes under there and strap them in, or if we like make doors or something and try and close it in. But either way, we had to move the license plate. It used to sit there. It's going to be going up there. So I need to do that still. And I have to move the license plate light up, which is up underneath there. And there it is. And that's got to go up top as well, so we can have our license plate lit up. That's a legal requirement. Now, and you see the diesel heater stuff coming out here. We installed it in the garage. It comes out through the floor there. And that gives us, I have to finish configuring the exhaust. The vent goes over, it's tucked in here, so that's fine for now. We'll maybe do something a little fancier with that, but it works for now. Fuel line, and we've got our fuel tank here. We're going to paint the outside of the tank to make it blend in more, but we'll leave a strip so we can see where the fuel level is. But what I wanted to do, our gasoline fill for this truck, gas engine, is right here on the side, on the driver's side. And so we wanted the diesel outside on the driver's side. So when we stop to get fuel, if we need diesel too for the heater, we can gas up, pull forward a few, well, I was going to say a few feet, but pull forward about 10 or 12 feet and top off the diesel tank. And we'll probably have a portable for diesel as well, which we did last year also. So that just makes it easy. When I had in the van, it was positioned, it was all inside and it was on the passenger side. So when I get gas, I'd have to go and turn around and come back to a pump to get diesel on the other sides. This way it's all on the same side. Should be a little more convenient. It's also all outside. The tank's outside. The fuel comes out the bottom of it underneath here. It's right about there. And fuel filter, fuel pump, and up into the bottom of the heater right there. So what that means is all of the diesel's outside. So if there's ever a leak in any of those lines or in the tank or in the pump or in the filter, it's going to drip outside. Now, we don't want to be dripping diesel all over the place, but at least it's not dripping inside our house, and we'll fix it, of course, if there is a leak. Not that I'm not concerned about it dripping outside, but if it's going to drip somewhere, I'd rather it drips outside than drips inside our house, because diesel stinks to high heavens, and it's hard to get rid of the smell once it gets in there. So this is our garage. Like I said, we only came out 11 inches from where the truck ended, but the way this works out, because we had a 4-inch 2x4 wall here too, and as well as this metal lip on the back of the truck that I showed you a minute ago, the original platform on the end of it where the door closed, that basically gives us, like, I think 15 inches, 16 inches in this cabinet that gives us 3 shelves inside. So a ton of extra storage for tools and outdoor gear and things that we don't necessarily want to have stuffed under our beds and things inside the truck. 2 things I got to finish up still. I showed you the fridge. I need to raise that up a little bit and configure it so we can run a duct under it for heat. And the other thing is stairs, because this is really awkward trying to get in and out of here on the step ladder. So we're debating 2 things, and we'll be deciding within the next couple days at addressing it. Either we have to get like some truck camper stairs and mount them on here. The aluminum collapsible, extendable. I hate collapsible in context of stairs and ladders and things, but hey, it's not a word I like to hear in that connected with as an adjective connected with stairs or ladders or anything. But the telescoping extendable ones. So we'll either do those, or we'll go cabin style, and we'll go with wood stairs, somewhat similar to what I've seen other people do this, and somewhat similar, for example, to what Truck House Life has done, what he did with his truck camper. Not exactly the same, but something like that. And basically they'll fold up and be locked into place up while we're driving, and then when we're parked, we can lower them down. Either way, we have to make sure we can block them up to accommodate for unlevel ground conditions, which is a regular occurrence. That's where we're at on that. Those 2 things will be finished up in the next couple days, and then we're pausing because, first of all, I'm tired. We've been going at this for 5 months, and it's a long process, and it's time to take a break and just use the truck. Secondly, I got a bunch of other things I need to do, because while I'm doing this truck build, I have a bunch of other responsibilities I have to take care of, including work to make money to pay for all this, and just some other, family responsibilities and personal responsibilities. So we're going to pause all this, take some time for other things, and then we'll putter with it once we're sure we like how everything's working. I think we will, because we had it out a couple times already for different camping trips. We're all moved into it now, so I think we'll like it fine, but we're going to make sure, and then we'll start working on some of the detail stuff, and we'll putter that over a period of months. Nothing too exciting, some trim here and there, and little finishing things to make it look better. While I'm on the subject of this garage here in our bumper storage, if you notice, there's no more ramp in there. That was a bit of a challenge, getting that thing out, but here it is. It's laying on the ground. This thing is huge. I don't even know how big it is. It's also very heavy. Essentially, the way they got this thing configured, it just had rollers bolted onto it, and they roll along the inside of the frame rail, and the ramp goes along the inside of the frame rail and tucks out of the way. The problem I had, I couldn't get it out. It was jammed, and you see the little latch there that is supposed to be on a spring, and it allows it to, you pull it down, you can pull the ramp out, you push it back in, it pops up, the ramp is secured in the truck. Apparently, at some point, somebody must have backed into something and hit that. And over the years, the truck's 11 years old. It's had a lot of life on it, a lot of use. Somebody backed into something and bent that thing and jammed it so it wouldn't come down. That was the whole problem. So I got a mini sledgehammer out, gave it a little persuasion. It bent down out of the way. And once I did that, I was able to pull the ramp out. Then we tried to unbolt the carrier assembly with the rollers on it. The bolts onto the bottom of the ramp. I'll show you here. They bolt on right here. And when they put this truck together, they bolted it and then they welded the nuts onto the bolt. So we had to sawzall the bolts to get that off. Other than that, it was a piece of cake to remove. That thing's heavy. It's big and it's heavy. It's 50, 75 pounds, I'm going to guess. It's all aluminum, but it's pretty solid. It's got 1,000-pound ramp capacity, so it's pretty heavy duty, and it's got the weight that goes with that. We're going to take that to the recycling yard here in town. We'll get a little bit of money for it, but the big thing is we'll just, better than throwing it in the landfill. They can reuse it and part it out and make it into something else. But that gets it out from under there. Saves us some weight, but secondly, that blocked the floor on the whole middle of the truck. So the middle third of the truck or so. So that just allows us access to the floor of the truck if we ever need to. And once I finish, loading this thing up, we're not going to want to be able to get that stuff removed, to try and pull the ramp out, to try and do anything with it. We're never going to use the ramp. So it's just not something we need to keep around. So that's getting recycled. I know we talked about that before. And actually, when I first looked at it, I saw some welds on it. I thought it was welded into place to keep it from being used. And a viewer pointed out that he had several of these trucks, and those were actually welds on the ramp itself, and it should just pull out. So I finally figured it out. We got it removed, and that's taken care of. That'll be going away very soon. Next couple days. Basically, we're going to take it in the van along with a bunch of construction debris we have from finishing up this project. But I got all my tools and stuff in the van right now. So as soon as now that I've got this done, today's project is to get all the tools out of the van, put them away and organized in the truck. Once the van's emptied out and it's back to being like an empty cargo vehicle again, then we'll load the ramp and a bunch of other construction debris we have, cut boards and plywood and stuff, and we'll throw them in the truck. We'll bring the ramp to the recycling place. We'll bring the rest of it to our landfill where they have a construction debris pit, and we'll get rid of all that stuff. Figure out some stairs, and we'll give you a video with the stairs that we decide on that. And I'm going to raise up the refrigerator box a little bit. So right now it's just like shoe storage under it, but we're going to have a duct going under there too for heat. So that's where we're at on this. We're basically done. And that's as far as usability and the actual build stuff. And then we're just going to take our time, use it, and then we'll work on the finishing stuff. And when we're all done at some point here, once we're all settled, and we'll do a tour video, show you how everything is set up and how we're using everything, what we like, what we don't like, if there are any things, and we'll go from there. Meanwhile, if you like following along with this stuff, we do have a membership program. It's on Fourth Wall. It's basically the same as Patreon, but it's a different service, because I used to have Patreon and I got sick of dealing with Patreon. That's a whole nother story. We won't go there in this video, but we do have that. It's inexpensive, but you get behind the scenes photos and details and stories and stuff. And you also get discounts on merch like ebooks and clothing and all that sort of stuff. So that's something you'd like to participate in. We'll have a link in the description. No worries if not. That's just for those who want to support the channel and do a little extra to help support content like this coming. There's the truck, 2014 GMC Savannah Cutaway. and box truck, 16 and a half foot box truck, box van, I guess you'd technically call it. And you can see my work table here where I've been finishing things up, and we're going to go ahead and I'll get on to some other stuff, get moving some things out of the van, the tools and stuff into the truck, so we can get things put away and do another dump run. Thanks for joining us in this video. Everybody will catch you in the next one.